Okay, this is Kareem Beyond the Smoke. I'm here with the owners of this fabulous establishment, Second Street Cigar Lounge. And introduce yourself, fellas.
My name is Gregory Hayes.
Larry Pickens.
And I am Joseph Williams.
Cool. And we are here again at Second Street Cigar Lounge. And I just want to introduce these brothers. I'm a big supporter of ownership, and these are the owners here. So I kind of wanted to just talk to you guys real quick and see how you guys come together with this fine establishment. How did this even happen?
Okay, well, I'll take it from the beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
It started back in 2006.
Okay.
Me and this guy right here, Greg, we basically watched the whole downtown area explode. I mean, 10 years, 15 years ago, you would be caught dead down here. But we used to hang out at a place called J Lounge, and it was a fabulous event. And that's kind of where we cut our teeth, learning entrepreneurship and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever we got to own a piece of downtown, we decided to jump on it. So people think we just did it real fast, but it was like a 2-year effort before we even bought this place right here.
Okay.
This is my cousin, Joe.
Perfect.
Okay, so you guys own this space together. Talk about, new smokers, right? Somebody's never smoked a cigar, they come into your lounge. What advice, where do you kind of guide them, or what questions do you ask them?
We'll leave that to Greg.
Okay.
It's very important for a new smoker to understand the difference between cigars and anything else out there. So we always let them know that cigars are very similar to wine than anything else. Wine and coffee and cigars are the same. And then from there, we just want to figure out their palate, figure out what their experience is. So I asked them, how often do they smoke cigars? What are some of the different brands that they've smoked in the past? Flavor profiles that they like, how long they want to smoke. And from there, we try to guide them into a couple of different options. 3 options usually is what I typically go for, and let them choose. And then it's all about the experience. From there, they can create their own experience, give us the feedback, whether it's good or bad. We encourage that, and that way we can kind of guide their journey.
Okay, so let's just do like a little role play. I never smoked a cigar before. I come into your establishment. My name's Kareem. You're Greg. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to smoke. Where do you lead me?
Well, usually what I'll do is I'll kind of give you a tutorial, just because what I find is that most people that come in, they don't have enough knowledge to even make a better decision.
Mm-hmm.
So I always want to empower them to be able to make a better decision, not only with us, but anywhere else they go. And when they come back, to be able to make a decision to enhance their experience. So I usually take them through what a premium cigar is,
Mm-hmm.
which what makes a premium cigar. I'll take them through how it's made up. And that way they can understand that every one of these cigars have been rolled, hand rolled. 300 pairs of hands touch a cigar before it reaches our shelf. So they need to understand that this is very artisanal, and somebody put a lot of work into it. That way they'll make sure that what they're spending, they'll really be able to take time and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
But from there, it's just a matter of, if they're looking for more mild smoke, medium body, full body.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is considered a mild smoke?
Okay. Like Greg said, our big thing that we do here,
Mm-hmm.
simple as this: full body, medium body, light,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the 3 base things that we ask for. Now, Greg will show you, and for you cigar aficionados, it usually goes by the tobacco leaf. Like this one right here would be considered a little dark, so it'll be a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
This one right here would be considered a little light, as you can see the difference.
Mm-hmm.
And this one right here would be considered a medium. So these are like how you kind of figure out a palate. Joe is an expert in the humidor. if Joe gets you in the humidor, you're gonna buy something.
Okay, so you're the expert in the humidor, right?
Yeah, it's all it's all about the experience. Like Gregory said, like cigars are like wine and coffee. You need to find those minute flavors that you're looking for. And with our cigar selection and with our lounge layout, it's the experience it was creates the cigar smoking experience. You can have, people, it's cigar lounges are interesting because the variety of people you get. We have people with head tattoos, neck tattoos sitting next to lawyers. And you can't get that anywhere else. In bars, people drink, they got to get a little bit loud, a little bit excessive. Well, with a cigar lounge, as long as you enjoy the leaf, the conversations you find in cigar lounges are unlike anything I've seen in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the beautiful conversations and these coming of different minds with different lifestyles. It's such an amazing thing that a cigar can bring these people together. I think it's a great, great thing.
Okay, check this out. All right, so somebody walks into a humidor like this.
Mm-hmm.
Give us some simple do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts.
Etiquette, if you will.
Do not squish the cigar.
Okay.
Whatever, don't squish the cigar. Don't you can smell it. It's nice to smell the aroma, but to squeeze it, like Gregory said, 300 hands touch the cigar before it reaches our shelf, and you're going to really hinder someone else's smoke if you don't buy that smoke. You want to ask someone, the tobacconist, if their recommendations, if you don't understand, or even just like, hey, I tell a lot of people, pick a smoke that you don't recognize, smoke it, and if you like it, then you have a platform to build on, and then from there you can develop your palate and you can understand what you like about the cigar, what you don't like about it. If it's a little bit too strong and made you kind of lightheaded, you might want to taper it down to something a little bit more lighter, something a little bit more medium. If you can't really taste it, maybe your palate, you need something a little bit more stronger. So
Okay, so again, a lot of novices watch this show.
okay.
Okay, so I noticed that there are some cigars that are in cellophane. Some of them are just kind of out. What are the differences? Was there a difference between the two at all?
All right, great.
That's it.
Not really. For the most part, some cellophane is just more about packaging. It's not going to make that big of a difference unless you're talking about aging. If you're talking about aging and keeping it for a very long time, the cellophane can help. But for the most part, it's more packaging, how it's going to be shipped. The cellophane kind of protects it from some of the things that Joe was talking about, customers coming in and kind of putting their hands on them. We try to manage that. But for the most part, it's just the entire cigar humidor is keeping all of the cigars fresh. We have a great humidification system. That's what's going to keep the cigars right.
Now, there's a certain relative humidity, right? That most, or I don't know if all cigar humidors need to be at. What is that? What's that range? It needs to be in?
Usually it's between 65 and 70 degree humidity, right? You want to think tropical. So most cigar, the tobacco actually, which is 100% black tobacco, is grown near the equator, which is why we're in a humidified environment. So you're thinking Cuba, you're thinking Nicaragua, Ecuador, those places, Cameroon, even Africa. It's going to be tropical. It's going to be very similar to this, which is why we're all.
We're going to sit here for a little while. Trust me, when we hear stocking, we might be here for 5 minutes. After a while, you will feel it. And just one other thing I want to add, a myth, like you get a lot of people want to come in and smell cigars. I'm the no smell guy. If I catch you smelling one of my cigars, it's going to be hell to pay. Why? Because we sell premium cigars. This is a liquor store. Everything in here, like Greg said, came from a certain region. So everything in here smells good. So you don't want to pick up somebody's cigar that somebody just finished smelling. Okay, so everything in here is good.
Okay, so what are some of the more popular cigars, or maybe some of the trendy cigars that you find that people are starting to gravitate to?
Well, what you have to understand, this is just by being in the business. Most people are always going to recognize the big names first. So if you get a novice guy that just went to some party, he's always going to ask you for a Patron. Then he'll ask you for, I heard of my father. Then he might say, if he's real good, he might ask you for a Liga Privada or La Flor Dominica. We're in the LA market. We sell a lot of Padrones, my father's company called Tatuaje, which we do very well here. The old school stuff, Arturo Fuentes, the Romeo Julietas, the Liga Privadas. Those are the big names. Even, people that like something sweet, we'll give them a little acid and things like that. So we usually try to help out a typical customer. We got somebody brand new. We started about what we call the light stuff. And I'll show you how the colors look. This is a light Arturo Fuente. So I was starting off with something like this, just to see how their palate is. A lot of people want something sweet. Then, of course, we'll hit them with an acid, or we'll hit them up with another great brand from Drew Estate called a Sweet Jade, or something like that. As they get more experience, they don't want no advice from me. They want to come in here, I know what I want, and move on. But usually, between all three of us, we're very good at just reading people what they want.
Okay,
So,
I need you guys' help.
okay.
My wife obviously knows I smoke cigars. I'm trying to get her, Lenny, to smoke a cigar with me. What advice do you give me? I'm trying to ease her into it. What advice would you guys give?
Either Greg or Joe, they're great at that.
Greg.
With that, I always suggest something more, if not on the flavored side. Flavor is one way to go if you want to ease in. That's a great way. It's very sweet. Anything sweet, especially in the American market, is going to ease them into it. Also, the aroma is a little bit more controlled. So they'll enjoy that portion. The other thing I would say, you have some people that come in and they're big wine fans, especially a lot of women drink a lot of wine and their palates are really great. In that case, I would suggest something in a larger ring gauge. Larger ring gauges actually burn cooler, which creates a better cigar smoking experience. So anytime they're smoking for the first time, you always want the best experience. So a larger ring gauge is great. Cooler smoke. That way your tongue doesn't get as hot. You don't burn your palate, and it's more enjoyable. I always tell customers it's better to relight than it is to try to keep it lit. All right. A lot of customers just smoke too fast.
Okay.
And that's what kills the experience.
Again, a lot of novices watch, right? Explain what a ring gauge is.
Ring gauge is a part of a Vitola. Vitola is just shape and size. You have different names for different ring gauges. A ring gauge is just like a wedding ring or any ring class ring that you're wearing. You have your classic size is going to be a 5-inch by 50 ring gauge, which means, for example, this would be like this right here would be a 52 ring gauge. What Larry was showing you earlier, which is the Arturo Fuente Chateau, that's a 50 ring gauge there. Okay, so a larger ring gauge would be like a 60 ring gauge. 60 ring gauge is exactly 60 ring gauge is going to be much larger.
Okay.
Burns cooler.
Cool. I love it.
Okay, so that's what a Vitola is. I would say that, like I said before, cigars are very similar to wine. So you're gonna have different Vitolas, different sizes, depending on how much time you have to smoke. That's a big thing. The other part of it is just that the cigars, premium cigars, actually have 3 components. So you have the wrapper, you have the binder, and you have the filler. Filler tobacco is what's the inner parts of the cigar. So filler tobacco is the middle tobacco. What makes a premium cigar is that the tobacco on the inside of the cigar is just as long as the cigar. Okay, so what they call that is long filler. Then you have a binder. A binder is a leaf that actually holds all of that filler tobacco together. Then finally you have the wrapper. The wrapper is the outer leaf, the leaf that you see. The leaf that's oily and it's appealing. Okay, those combinations is what gives you different flavor profiles. So you're gonna get the majority of your flavor from the outer leaf, the wrapper. So it's very key to know the type of tobacco that the wrapper is, whether it's Montefina, Connecticut. These are different varieties, similar to grapes, like you have Cabernet Sauvignon or you have Pinot Noir. Okay, so you're gonna get the majority of the flavor from the wrapper, say like 70%. So if that's the case, I always tell people, think of the wrapper as like the steak or the chicken. Okay, and think of the binder and the filler as like the seasoning that you use to change the flavor of that steak or chicken. When you think of it that way, you can understand how many different like varieties you can come up with, how many different combinations you can come up with, almost like cooking ingredients. And now you see where you have so many different cigars, you have so many different flavor profiles, you'll be able to find something for everyone.
Also look at it like, so we're in the LA area, you know, look at it as craft beer. You got your store-bought stuff, but you got somebody in some lab put together something craft. And that's exactly what the cigar industry, the premium cigar. You'd be surprised, these guys are masters. It's amazing. I mean, like when we first started, cigar was just a cigar. You go get a cigar, liquor store, you didn't know. But once you really get into the industry, you start appreciating the different tobaccos, the different leaves. You get the taste of. Now you start talking like this, that means a bad cigar if you wake up the next morning. So a good cigar, you would never talk like this in the morning. You can tell it in your throat.
So cigars, it's passion. There's a passion, there's a love that's put into these cigars. And I think, it shows in the variety and the flavor. And like Larry said, like, you can just go to a store and get, a cigar, but that is, it's more like factory made, man-made. They're just churning them out. These cigars are made with like sincere love and a passion, and I think it really comes through in the end product.
All right, well, there you have it. That's a lot of information. That's like Cigar 101. I want to thank these fine young gentlemen for being with me beyond the smoke. 2nd Street Cigar Lounge.
Downtown Los Angeles.
Peace.
#1. All right. Good job, gentlemen.
All right.
Thank you.